Hello and welcome to an all-new episode of Men and Women Talk, the Mars Venus Show. I am one of your hosts, Kente, all the way live from Los Angeles, California, and I am here with the one and only, the hair wrap one, Rasheen.
What it do, boo? All the way on the East Coast, representing B More. You know.
That's right, my second favorite city
right?
in the world.
Oh,
right, I love Baltimore. So, how was your...
It was all good. I had a little bit of a stressful period earlier today. I had to defend a proposal, and it was stressful. I'm doing a research on Black motherhood, and so I had to explain why I'm doing this research and how I'm going to do it and stuff like that. And for people who don't get it, it was a little bit stressful, but I got through it.
You know, you're kind of destroying the myth I have of you, of a woman who never has any stress, sunshine, you know, just everything seems to just go your way. And
that's so untrue.
You know, that's the
no,
that
it's
I
not.
know.
Listen, I'll be quick to say I am not one of those like strong Black super women who don't need nobody type of thing. That ain't me. I need to be strong, but I also need to come home and take off my cape. You know?
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I just picture you. I guess when it gets stressful, you learn
right.
On some Erykah Badu or something, or chanting, or whatever it is you might do, and makes everything right? Well, I'm glad that you were here, and just to let people know, we will be off for the next 2 weeks. Next week it's Halloween, right? Yeah, a week from today is Halloween, and then another week I am going to be involved in some stuff. So, but we will be back in 2 weeks.
That sounds mysterious. You're going to be involved in some stuff.
Yeah, some stuff. So I just wanted to let people know that. All right, so let's go into our show tonight and introduce our guests. And of course, we always start off with the ladies. And this young lady, she's a blogger. She is the host of the Woke Squad. It's the one and only Victoria James.
Good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. And for those who, I gave a little snapshot of you, but can you give us a little more in-depth of who you are and social media?
Well, I usually go by Vikeejeah on the social medias of it all. And I primarily am a beauty blogger, YouTuber. And outside of that, I'm also a social justice warrior. I am like the main crap talker on the Woke Squad, the main shade thrower, but also the educator of the bunch. And we host a podcast on Fridays on Legacy Internet Radio. Well, that airs Fridays on Legacy Internet Radio, which you can catch on the TuneIn app on all mobile devices. And we record live via Google Hangout on our YouTube channel, which is also called The Woke Squad, every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern. So we invite people to come and listen in on that. And, we also have a Facebook page where you can get all the information we're going to be talking about earlier in that week. And I just love doing it. I am a newlywed to a gorgeous Black man who y'all saw earlier. And that whole thing that you were talking about with being like a super woman and taking off your cape when you come home, Rasheen, I am so grateful that he is waiting for me like James Brown's sidekick to take that cape off. And also rub my feet or just give me a hug or whatever it is that I need. And I think that's, to not have to be that all the time is actually very refreshing.
Amen to that. I so feel your pain. I mean, I so not even your pain. Like I so feel what you're saying around that. That's so for real. You're supposed to drink that with one teacup, aren't you?
You know, it's so funny. My husband has the matching one. He's an Aries. Mine's Scorpio.
Well, I'm so glad that you are here, and I'm looking forward to your thoughts on tonight's topic.
Thank you.
All right, so our next guest, as I were a frequent watcher of the Oak Squad, this brother, I used to check out his show all the time with the one and only Paid Diamond, the Lex Kelly show, is Lex Kelly himself. How you doing, brother?
Good, brother. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. And so for those who may not know, I just gave you a little snapshot. Tell everybody about yourself.
Well, yes, my name is Lex Kelly, and I did previously have a show hosted with Diamond called the Lex Kelly Show, where we spoke about personal development, relationship building, tools for life, tools for just building relationships, building better relationships, and building yourself through relationships. Right now, I'm still stomping the pavement. I'm the CEO of a multimedia development company called I Stand Media Group. So that's the main gig. But I also have a passion in developing people. Developing. Is that me?
Hello?
I can send your audio.
Can you hear me? Yeah, no, that's me. I'm so sorry.
Yep.
I had
Lex was still telling us about himself.
No, I'm sorry. You guys didn't notice I dropped
Yeah, Kitty, look
look
like you're
trying
lost.
to keep it rope.
Hold on a second. The power went out for a second.
We may have to reset. Your audio sounds super janky.
Sounds janky. Let me.
Yeah.
I edited it.
It's not like Optimus Prime.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that.
He reminds me of me whenever I was doing my show. I could never get my tech right. Paige used to always get on me. She was like,
I need to learn
when
from you, Lex, from you and Kente, because even though he's having all these issues, I just started this whole thing. I can probably learn some stuff from you too, Vicky. You have like a lot of subscribers. I got like 12 subscribers on my YouTube channel.
You said you just started. This has been like almost 2 years of growth on my channel.
What was your growth like?
My growth didn't even get popping until I started collaborating with people who were way more popular than I was.
That makes sense.
Well, I collaborated with people that were way more popular than me, and it still didn't work. So I'm not too sure what happened.
You got her own.
It also did that I look pretty fly with the makeup on.
Right, yeah, see. There's absolutely nothing I could do.
At least one thing.
I didn't have the beard. I didn't have it when I was doing the show.
Oh.
So maybe whenever I kick it back off, maybe the beard will help.
The beard.
So Steph said she
bearded, they will come.
Steph said Steph was a regular on the show. She was a regular on the show. She really enjoyed it, and I really thank her for supporting. But yeah, so for me right now, I'm still a huge advocate of relationships. I'm a huge advocate of internal healing and reflecting out and connecting with others. So I just try to give some tools from my own knowledge base and my own experience that hopefully can help others. Rolling into 2017, I will be rolling into a bigger platform. So I was able to find space amongst some more popular people that will expose me to many more. So hopefully I can do everyone justice. And again, I'm not here to tell anybody what to do, but just expand the mind, give different ideas, and hopefully we all can be better people at the end of the conversation.
So this is gonna be. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can, but you still sound janky.
Damn.
So Lex Kelly is basically like Lex Kelly 65 Life.
It's not Lex Kelly fix my life. It's more like Lex Kelly. Can you possibly get some tips on how I can fix my own life?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not that. I'm not the guy that's going to sit here and tell you what to do. I'm the guy that's going to tell you that you can do it, whatever it is that you choose to do.
I'm about that. I'm about that life. Telling me I could do stuff. So what nights are you on now? What nights or days or networks are you on now? Platforms. And you said you were moving to a bigger platform. What is that?
Right. So right now I am on. I do majority of my videos. I've tried to get better at doing at least one video a day, just giving a different tip. I'm a very out the box. I mean, everybody who's ever seen my show, I'm very out the box with my approach. But I try to do a video every day, giving some type of thought or tip. But right now I do majority of that on Facebook and Instagram. So I've cut my videos down to 60 seconds so that way I can get it out on Instagram and let it flow through Facebook, which I'm long-winded. So oftentimes that's hard to do. But rolling out into 2017, I will be on the Dr. Boyce Watkins channel. So I will have my own platform on that channel. So I'm just prepping
big
for
platform.
that.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
It's huge. It's huge. I just hope that I can do. I hope I could do the brother justice, and because I admire him. He's a great brother. I admire the whole team. So I'm just hoping that I can come in and just offer a little bit of healing. That's all it is. I just want to offer a little bit of healing to funk. Yeah.
So is that online? Will that
Yeah.
will that be like or YouTube? Oh,
YouTube. Yeah, I'll be on his YouTube channel, but I'll be also doing a lot of lives, and it will be promoted through his Facebook page as well. So I'm in the works of that right now. We're getting all that stuff together. I'm getting my content together, and of course, spending a little more time on getting the website together, so that way I can really establish the Lex Kelly brand outside of
Make
I
sure
Stand
you
Media.
let the Podcast Video Streamers Alliance know when you're on, so we can come out.
All right, so am I still in
I really
Jankyville?
appreciate it.
No.
It's much better now.
Well,
No, you're not Jankyville anymore. We're in the game. I don't know what you did, brother, but you're good.
Yeah, right.
Welcome to Mars.
All right, so tonight's topic is end of the road, breaking up, ending relationships, and this is a show that I've wanted to do for quite a while because a lot of times I've had people personally ask me about how to break it off in relationships or what to do when you feel like the relationship is going down a certain path of no return. And so I feel like, I had the right people here to talk about this very subject. And I want to tell a little story. Many years ago when the song End of the Road came out by Boyz II Men, I had a friend of mine. He dedicated that song to his girlfriend and was surprised that she was not very happy about that. And I'm like, what are you trying to break up with? He's like, no. And I'm like, it's a breakup song. And he's like, it is? No, not at all.
He didn't listen to the lyrics very well.
I don't think, it doesn't sound very romantic. End of the road.
right.
It doesn't sound very romantic.
So
That's
I thought it's so funny. He would hate that I brought that up. So if you're listening out there. But so let's talk about this. I think I want to start off with you, Victoria. And ladies first. Can you remember the first time you had to break up with someone, or maybe someone broke up with you? What came first?
Oh, I remember someone breaking up with me. Not to say it happened often, but it was a very memorable one. My freshman boyfriend broke up with me on Christmas Eve.
Oh,
And,
college or high school?
high school.
Buster.
Yeah. And It was so crazy because I was having the worst day. I was just having the worst day. And I said, oh my goodness, I can't wait until vacation to just get away from school and enjoy Christmas and enjoy this time off to get away from these fools. And sure enough, it comes up to me as I'm about to get on the train to go home. And he didn't even finish the sentence. And I knew what he was going to say. And it just killed me because he was my friend before we started dating. And so I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you really going to do this right now? And so I tried so hard to hold it in, to get home, to hold it in before I started crying. But as soon as I was alone, because you walk down a side street and there was nobody there, I just started crying. I cried all the way home. And then I was miserable on Christmas. And then the fact that my Christmas was ruined made me even more angry. So by the time I got back to school, I hated his guts. And I didn't talk to him for the rest of the year. It was just so bad. Yeah, it was really, really bad. But you know what? When we got to sophomore year, which one is it? 10th grade, freshman, sophomore? Yeah, sophomore year. He confessed to me some stuff that, was very eye-opening in why he broke up with me. And it was because he was gay. And he didn't, he hadn't really admitted it yet to everyone. And so once he told me this because the fact that he had hurt me was the hardest part for him. More so than coming out. And so he told me the whole story about his realization of his sexuality. And it made us a lot closer. So much so that people thought we were dating again. So I thought that was really interesting. But he's a really great person, actually. And it was a huge, huge lesson for me.
Okay. All right, he's gay, right? But I mean, come on. Even if you're gay, that's still shady, though. Christmas Eve.
Oh, Christmas Eve. I think that I think he thought that we were going to have a conversation. He thought that we were going to have a conversation because we were friends, and our romantic relationship was fairly new. So I think that he was really trying to talk to me about it more so than just rip the Band-Aid and break up. But I was so angry about everything else that happened that day that I didn't give him the opportunity.
That would he have been better if he had waited, but he really wanted? Because do you really? That's a debate though. If somebody don't want to be with you, right? Do you want to spend Do you want them to spend the holidays with you?
Well, we weren't going to spend the holidays together anyway.
Okay.
At least, as far as the individual relationship goes, me and that person, I would say it would have been better had he waited until after the holidays to tell me, because then I would have been in a better headspace and it wouldn't have ruined my whole holiday weekend. Holiday vacation.
I think timing does count for something in terms of breaking up with you. I mean, timing means in terms of any type of news or information. Is this relevant? Is it timely? Is it actionable? And then you got to have the conversation around how is telling it at this particular time going to impact me? How is it going to impact this person? Is there a better space there? Sometimes you got to work out what's the environment that I'm going to break up in. I think all of those things, when you don't take that into consideration, it makes it seem like you're a little bit.
So if he had said,
if I had to do over, if that whole situation happened and I was actually in college, I probably wouldn't have forgiven him. But since we were fresh, we were kids. We were 14, 15 years old. And we were young and dumb. You haven't really had enough experience in life to really gauge whether or not it's the right time to do something like that. And so in hindsight, I can totally laugh about it. I mean, I'm happy, he's happy. It's been well over 10 years since we even seen each other. So at this point in my life, it's just a funny story that I tell. But at the time, it was devastating.
So if he had done it on January the 4th, it was I was going to do it December 24th, but out of respect for you, I waited.
I mean, he wouldn't even have to say that, right? That's not even necessary to say. I was going to dump you behind on
Eddie,
Like,
I'm not a bad guy.
I'm a good person. What I'm gonna do instead? No, I'm just
right.
no. But I think that honestly, if he had taken me aside after we had come back from the vacation, and we're all kind of like clear-headed about things and looking forward to a new year, like whatever, new beginnings and all of that, I think that he and I actually could have sat down together in the park near our school and had a conversation. And he could have just been forthcoming instead of writing me the letter and just said it right to my face. And I probably would have been like, hey, man, it's cool. Thank you for telling me. Thank God we didn't, take it too far here, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't find out that way. So I think I would have been a lot cooler about it, Right. And we could have just continued being friends versus having like darn near, I think that was like 6 or 8 months of not even speaking.
Mm.
All right, Lex, same question. Can you remember the first time that you broke up with someone, or they broke up with you, or whatever came first?
Let's see. Oh, wow. A lot of, I didn't really have a whole lot of relationships. When I was 17, I didn't have any relationships in high school. I was the fat, greasy kid in high school. So I didn't have any, I tried. I couldn't even get a date to the prom. But but then I went to the military at 17. So I think I didn't really have any breakups. A lot of them were just like distance kind of just took it apart. I can't really think of any time where I've had like an established relationship. A lot of them were just like, hey, I really enjoy your time, and we just spend time together often. And then eventually just kind of floated apart. But I think I did. I did break up with one, and I think it was because she got orders to Korea, and it was a year long. It was a year long tour. So no, I think it was the other way around. I got orders to Korea, so it was a year long tour. So I think like maybe 5 months into it, I was like, I'm not going to drag her along because I know I'm only in 3, and I am not holding any idealism that she has in her head. So I think I called her and was like, you know what, I think we need to take a break. And she was broken, but she understood. And we remained friends. We still friends to this day. I think that was the very first time I've ever broken up.
That's real practical. I think a lot of times you think, oh yeah, we're gonna stay together, even though I'm in Korea. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, were you on the East Coast still? Like, was she on the East Coast? So that's
she was still in Jersey. She was still in Jersey. I mean, we was young too, like 19, 20 years old or something like that. So like I said, when you're that young to break up, what are you breaking up? Nothing hold to break up. Everything is idealistic and fantasized. You know what I mean? So at that age, there's really no foundation or structure. So it's just pretty much you were just spending time together at a level of comfort for a certain amount of time. And you just decided to, move on, or and if you were intelligent enough, you just said, hey, let's just go ahead and just cut it clean rather than me hurt your feelings and you hurt mine, So,
now, Rasheem, I know you were the first one that pulled the guy's cord, right?
Whatever. I've been broken up before.
She looks she looked like she pulled a trigger.
Y'all ain't right.
She looked like, and you from Baltimore too. I'm from Maryland too. So if you from Maryland,
right.
I know you're the first one to pull.
You think my first time?
Yeah, the first one.
My first time, I remember Greg Brown.
Uh-oh.
Yep. I remember his name because he was my first boyfriend. We were together for a minute. We went to like 3 proms together, 2 or 3 proms together. And
I know.
I didn't know that.
He's kind of obligated to go to the prom. Well, he was in the grade ahead of me, so I went to his. He went to mine, and then I had another one. But then I ended up. What happened? Oh, Henry came to town. Henry moved into the neighborhood.
Henry.
Yes.
Henry
Like,
did
the
it.
thing about when
Henry shut the whole
came
game
to
down.
town, Greg was acting up. Like, he was completely, like, we had been together for 3 years. He was completely just taking me for granted. And Henry was brand new, and he wasn't taking me for granted. So I was just kind of like, hey, he was
Because he was brand new.
That's
He was
what
on
it
a
is.
mission. That's why.
And so I was just kind of like, it was something that Greg did. It wasn't a super big thing, but it was something that he did. And I just felt like that was like, all right, you know, Henry checking for me anyway.
He didn't put the toilet seat down, so she was just like, all right,
Right.
gotta go.
Right. Because if
That
Henry
might have
wasn't there,
flew.
that might have flew.
You know what? It might have flew, and it had been flying all of this other time. And it's like, why wouldn't it have flown this time?
Right.
So
Henry came in.
we actually, I don't like saying break up. The relationship came to a conclusion. And so I started talking to
his pink slip.
what is that?
That was a political correct way of saying it.
It did.
The
Ain't nobody
relationship came
broke.
to a conclusion.
Broke. I ain't broke. So we did some conscious uncoupling. And then I started talking to Henry. And what Greg thought was, I've been with her for 3 years. Her virginity, we lost each other's virginity together. Yeah, like this
I can still
other
slide
dude,
through the DM.
I got time invested. You know what I mean? I got all of it, you know?
Mhm.
And for a long time, that was true. And one day, this is an interesting thing. One day he came to my house after we had done broke up, and Henry was there. And he just had, and we had a slide. I was in Florida at the time. We had a sliding glass door. Henry was sitting next to me playing video games with my brother, and I was rubbing Henry's back. And he rolled up on me rubbing Henry's back. And he was trying to, he had flowers and everything. Those flowers, he took those flowers.
Oh no!
But we were broken up. You know what I mean? That was done.
Oh, that the man's heart. He came back and was like,
Hey,
Rashid, I will never leave the toilet seat up again.
that was it.
And he was coming ready
he
to
did-
profess
but
his
you know,
heart.
and
And
I
Henry
will tell
was in
you
there
this,
getting the back rub.
He didn't stop for at least 2 years trying to get back.
Oh, when he saw Henry, he was
For
like,
2
can't lose to
years
Henry.
he was trying. Like, I matter of fact, I still have his number to this day where he was like, you know, your daughter was supposed to be mine, right? You know.
Wow. And you know, he could be right because where Henry at?
Right.
See?
There you go. And Henry was one of
See
the
what I'm
dudes
saying?
that too,
You
like
know
a lot
me.
of girls like him. So you know how those be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they need or whatever.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. When I lost all the grease and the weight, I was that dude like periodically.
So let's
I get
talk
it.
about some of the reasons why you may break up with somebody. And you know, one reason is the Rashim reason, because some new guy comes into town. So the guy that's
You can't negate that he was doing stuff that he probably should have been broke up with long time ago.
wasn't doing. Those are excuses.
But-
That's cognitive.
A lot of excuses. Kente, it sounds like a lot of excuses. Like that toilet seat been left up many times. Like Rashid, you didn't fell in that toilet many times before, and you just piled it. It was good. Now Henry come to town, all of a sudden you mad at him about a little splash on the butt cheeks.
All of a
Now all of a sudden you mad.
Brother, man. You got a raw deal from Rashim.
Right.
So that's one of the main reasons why people do break up with people is somebody else comes into the picture, which always sometimes underscores whatever you feel like is lacking in your relationship. Because if you were, you could say if your stuff is strong, then Henry can't mess you up, right? Can't mess up your picture. We'll say that, so Rasheen feel good about herself. I'm
gonna get you, Kente.
let's talk about as
Hold
the
on. Steph has a comment.
Like, I just read what Steph said too.
Steph says, I've broken up with people because I was just tired of them or because the sex was not good.
I can't say that I haven't done that.
the break the sex
For both reasons. I can't say that I haven't done that.
Okay, we'll get to that. But so somebody comes in, somebody's Henry comes in and busts your relationship.
We're gonna go.
From now on, so I'm gonna go to you. Go to you, Lex. Somebody comes in, and now you have, from the point of view of you're the person who now sees somebody else, and now you're interested, right? And let's say that your relationship that you have with your current person, it's not that they're a bad person, but now you find yourself looking at this other person. So, like, are you totally wrong because you're in a relationship, right? Maybe you're not getting what you feel like you need. Now your mind start to wander. So, like, what do you suggest a person do? Like, they're not getting what they need, but they are now seeing the grass might be greener on the other side. Like, that maybe.
Well, I mean, when it comes down to that, you got to understand that, we get into relationships based off of social ideas, meaning we have an idea in our head of how we want the relationship to go. And we try to force feed it into our lives. But we never really look at just organic energy. And sometimes you just have an organic energy with somebody, and it could be through lower self or higher self. So like you can meet somebody who just blows your mind. It's just you guys are connecting on a higher level of consciousness. You guys are able to have those great conversations that feed each other on the intellectual level. Or it could be one of those things where in a relationship, like you said, you guys are broken up with men because the sex wasn't good. And you just mess around and, now it puts you in a space to where you're looking, or you could possibly be attracted to people on the physical end. But if you're in a relationship with somebody and you find yourself catching somebody else's attention, I think the most responsible thing to do is confront it. Sit down with the person you're in a relationship with and say, listen, there are certain things that I would like to create, that I need, that I would like to create within a relationship, and I'm not getting it. And it's put me in this place of victimization, so to speak. And I'm looking to fulfill that void outside of this relationship. And so if you don't have that conversation, what ends up happening is you end up, dealing with other people trying to fill that void because you never really sat down and had a real conversation with the person that you've established a monogamous relationship with. So my first thing would say is have the conversation first before you introduce anything new, because you could be the toxic element. It may not be your partner. It could be you. You could be the toxic
Lex, how do
element. Not even
you would take that as a man
So now-
if your woman came to you and is like, we need to do something about our relationship, and checking out Kente, and I don't want to be checking out Kente, but that's how it's going down. So you need to step your game up.
Now, do you want me to answer this as Lex Kelly or just the average dude? Okay, well, Lex Kelly, I would actually appreciate. Because me personally, I'm a progressive person. Like, I'm always trying to elevate anything that I'm doing, and that's including my relationships. So if I'm in a relationship and I feel like there's a certain place that I can't get to or I can't go because your attention is somewhere else, you need to let me know. So that way I can stop spinning my wheels, or I can readjust my game plan, or I can stop, doing things thinking it's going to work when it's really not. So I really appreciate the conversation. I would much rather, my woman come to me and say, listen, it ain't happening, Captain. The things that you're doing, I can see your aggression and you're working hard, but you're working hard in the wrong direction. And I need you to come back and realize, me personally, no, it wouldn't. I would actually appreciate it. Because my ego is attached to my progression. So as long as you're telling me that I can progress in some area, then I'm good. What will kill me is if you just tell me that you don't give me anything to work with. You're not giving me anything to work with. It's just like, well, you can't have, because I'm a Leo. I'm a Leo, I'm a fire sign. I don't like being told no. I don't like being told, especially when there's no reason. What I will appreciate is if you tell me how. So, like, for an example, I'll say, I have this joke with my woman all the time. I was like, well, if I can't have it, who can? So that way I can go to them and take lessons. Because I don't like being in this position where I can't achieve because I'm an overachiever. I'm a conqueror. This is what I like to do. I like to conquer every situation I'm in. I like to be a leader in any situation I'm in. So me personally, I'd appreciate it. But the average dude,
so you probably should, if you're giving advice on how a woman would say that, give advice with the acknowledgement that saying something like that might hurt the average dude's ego.
Yeah, right. The average dude will be hurt because his first thing is competition. And the reason why I say the average is because most people socialized into in the relationships thinking we have monogamy. We're going to go into this template of a relationship, but we really don't know the inner workings of it. So we really don't know how to make this thing work. We're just kind of playing it by ear. And so it's all emotion first. And there's no real intellect or higher consciousness in it. There's no awareness in it. So when there's no awareness and there's no self-reflection, then really what ends up happening is that you're just kind of just doing your own thing. So when someone come and tell you that your own thing ain't doing it,
right?
Of course, that's all you have. That's all you have to work with. So yeah, your ego is going to be hurt. And I'm just being honest, most dudes, their egos are going to be hurt because a lot of men, we deal with insecurities as well.
Yeah. That's a great point about how we deal with insecurities. And also, too, we don't really have an outlet to express them because if you do it, you are emotional, you are bitch made, as I've heard before, and all of these things that they say about it. So I think a lot of guys, we keep it in, or maybe we express it in ways that are probably not the best, and so. It's something that's real. I don't know if a lot of women really understand that, or they just think, "Oh, that's just some dumb man shit." I think a lot of times, I think that's what it gets chalked up to. But it's a real thing. And I don't know. I got an ego. And I like it to be stroked. I'm not ashamed to say that. But I try not to make my decisions in life all about it. I think I've gotten better as I gotten older when it comes to that kind of thing. Knock on wood. But it's definitely a real thing. But you bring up an interesting point that the thing is like, your thing ain't working. You need to evolve, right? And I always hear this thing about, well, you got to take me for me. You got to take me and accept me for who I am, warts and all. But then, so how do you differentiate okay, this is who this person is. I've been with this person for a while. This is who they are, but there are certain things that do need to evolve. Because you always hear it from men and women is I want someone to accept me for who I am. But then there's sometimes where there's parts of us that we need to evolve and get better on. So I mean, how do you differentiate between that, Lex or Victoria?
Victoria,
I think that one of the things that's really important for all of us to be able to do is to be honest with ourselves and be open to growth, because you can be you in a relationship and still grow and learn and compromise. Sorry, I don't know what's coming over me lately. I have learned a lot in the last 10 years of my life recently. And especially when it comes to relationships, and especially my relationship with me. And I wouldn't have been ready for anything that happened in 2016 if it weren't for the 5 years that preceded it. and actually taken some time to work through things that would have sabotaged the current relationship that I'm in. And I think that there are too many times where we don't self-evaluate and take the time to like get to know ourselves. And I think that's why so many of us today are so guarded and so anxious and so paranoid and so distrustful in relationships, to where we almost self-sabotage, and we use the scapegoat of take me as I am. If you don't like it, get the step in, like all that other stuff, to keep people from getting close to us. And it's all fear-based. Mm-hmm. And it's fear of different things. It's fear of rejection. It's fear of being alone. It's fear of being hurt. It's fear of being exposed and vulnerable, and like all kinds of things that are just jumbled up in this anxious ball that we need to massage and coax into releasing itself. So I'm certainly still a work in progress, but I think that being with somebody who is open and communicates with you, or is just, someone who's willing to learn, can go a long way in the two of you going through this journey in this relationship, and like being able to understand yourself individually and in a relationship. Because like I said a moment ago, you can definitely still be yourself and also still be good for somebody else, I hope I'm making sense.
No, it make really good sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I always hear this whole thing of like, it's always, I hear from men and women. They'll always say this thing about, I want someone who wants me for me, mm-hmm. But then they don't take the people for who they are. They got a list of, you need to change this about yourself, this, that, your shirt need to go, your hairstyle, all of this stuff. They got a dog. Right. Oh, I've heard that. Get rid of your dog. Your Drake.
You change, but you accept me exactly like this right here. I'm not changing anything.
Right. Can Victoria, you said a lot. You made a lot of great points, and what ends up happening is, I've kind of redefined love, and my definition of love is presenting the greatest version of yourself, and then offering it and gifting it to others. And that kind of tackles what you were talking about in terms of self-awareness and self-reflection. If you watch majority of my videos, my hashtags are self-reflection is a bitch. And 95% of what I speak about is self-reflection, self-awareness, paying attention to your behavior patterns, your own thoughts, and then how they project on the others. So what ends up happening is when you hear somebody saying, accept me as I am, what they're basically asking to do is cuddle my emotional destitute. I'm in an emotional space. I'm not in a progressive place emotionally in my life. And really all I'm looking for somebody to do is just tell me to be where I'm at, because I'm feeling so much hurt and pain based off decision-making skills that I'm making in the space that I'm in. So whenever you hear that, it definitely translates into, hey, I don't feel like moving. I don't feel like reflecting. I don't feel like being aware. I'm still a victim in life. I always say victims can't be champions. So they haven't moved to a space of being a champion, because a champion will never say, accept me for where I am, because they know they're going to be something different tomorrow. They know they're going to be something greater tomorrow. So the first thing they're going to say is, can you handle the energy that I put forth into my own life? Can you reflect the energy that I put forth in my own life? Because I'm not going to be the same Kente that I was 5 years ago. I'm not going to be the same Rashim that I was 10 years ago. I'm going to be at a higher plane. I'm going to be, more educated about who I am and the whole nine. So if you hear that, that's definitely a red flag. And that's often people just saying, I'm comfortable, and I need you to be comfortable with me being comfortable, because there's a lot of hurt and sickness going on, and I don't feel like dealing with at the moment. But yet I still want to coerce you and punk you into loving my sickness.
Well, see, I think that there is some variance And that is, I think that there is transformation and evolution, and I think that's what you're speaking to. And I think sometimes we're asking people to fundamentally change at their core who they are. And I don't think that we need to do that for evolution or transformation. Like, you don't need to change. Like, I need you to go to third grade and fourth grade and fifth grade and sixth grade without saying I need you to like completely switch majors or whatever the equivalent would be. And I think when you talk to a person about changing who they are at their fundamental core levels, it is sending a message of saying you are not enough. And I think it's a balance to articulate. And one of the things that Elder told me that I think was really helpful is she taught me in terms of, more specifically in dealing with relationships, how to speak to the man that I see him as opposed to downing and nitpicking on all the things that I see that he's not doing right now. Or why you ain't this, you ain't this, you ain't this. Instead of speaking to that greater thing. And I think there's a way in which we can do that. For example, let's say if I wore something particularly provocative, which I don't think he would care all that much. But let's say if I wore something particularly provocative, you could say, a man could say, don't be going out the house looking like a slut, or I hate when you blow, or whatever. And he could also say, you're one of the most beautiful women that I know, and I find you gorgeous and beautiful and blah, blah, blah. And I hold that sacred. You're like a jewel to me. And I don't want that jewel just out. You know what I mean? I think there's a way in which we speak and we say, I want to help you in your transformation and your evolution, as opposed to you are not enough and I'm not going to support you in your dumb nut stuff.
I agree with you, Rasheem. There is a way that you can verbalize it, but sometimes, no matter how you say it, as polite as possible, people are going to receive it wrong too, though. Like, like breaking up, for example. You could wait till January the 5th, which is a good, one of the days that's been allotted to break up with people. You can do it, in person because, it's impersonal, right? To text somebody that you don't want to be with them. You can do everything they tell you that you're supposed to do, right? And explain it to them, draw a diagram, have John Madden do a laser telestrator of why you're breaking up with them. And they still will say, Rasheem, you were effed up, the way you did that, man.
No, I agree. There's probably no easy way to break up. However, if I'm going to Lex Kelly and I'm saying, in order for us not to break up, because I've been checking for Kente, I need you to evolve. But if I'm just saying I need Lex Kelly to be more like Kente, that's telling him that he ain't enough and you better than him.
Right.
I think both of those suck too, though, because
it sounds like the takeaway from what you're saying, Kente.
The girl that you need to be like, come on, like that's.
It sounds, Kente, like from what you were saying. Not that you sometimes cannot help the way someone receives what you're saying, because the gist is what they hear. They're not hearing the rest of it. They're just hearing let's say they're hearing the roux or the root rather, and they are not hearing the rest of the medley that creates this stew, right? It's because I'm cooking right now that I'm using that sort of metaphor. But they don't care about the potatoes and the vegetables and everything. They're just hearing the meat. And they're like, the meat of this is that we breaking up. Right. They don't care about anything else that you're saying.
Over Henry. You breaking up over Henry.
And they don't care about anything else that you're saying, because at their core, what they're dealing with is issues with rejection and abandonment, perhaps. Right. And so here it is again. I'm being. All they're hearing is that it's over, and then start to all their insecurities start pouring out. Is it me? I'm not enough, and blah blah. And they start having this internal dialogue. They're not even listening to you, and it just becomes this huge thing. And I definitely can relate to this, where you know what you're saying to this person, and they're having their own conversation. I've literally sat in front of a man who made himself angry with his own interpretation of what was happening.
Own conversation.
I actually, he verbalized this dialogue. I'm over here like, he's about to turn into the teen wolf. Like, I really thought that he was going to kill me. It freaked me out. I said, all right, well, I'm going to go. And you can keep going. But I'm backing out. I'm walking out the door.
I'm going that way.
I just want you, I'm going to leave my portion of the check right here. And I'm just going to get going. So, yeah, it's a trip. You really can't help it sometimes.
Victoria, have you ever broken up with somebody and you felt hurt afterwards? Like you felt like I've broken up with somebody and cried afterwards.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
but more often than not, I have absolutely no regrets.
Yeah. I have.
I think only once. I've only cried once.
It's like a major. I felt like my body was gonna like I felt it physically after we broke up. Mm-hmm. Now I didn't want to get back with him. I did not. I was sure about that. But
I've shared experience, man. This is a shared experience.
I'm messing with Steph.
Yeah, Steph is because she's like, I'm gonna chop him off the toes.
Steph will break up with you, defriend you as your Facebook, not follow you, block you.
Steph will act like you don't exist.
Right.
She goes into witness protection.
I'm like that too. Like, one of the good things about breaking up is not seeing them around again. You know, I think that helps the process.
I've never really.
The good old Scorpio in me also has never had an issue with it. It depends. It really depends. Yeah. If it was amicable, or if it was that situation where, it hurt. I can relate. I think we actually agreed earlier in the episode about something, Steph. But yeah, it's we can cut you off if you've hurt us. You're dead to us. But if we actually have a connection with you and it's deep, then it's real, and that would make it hard to see the person again. But if enough time passes, I can be okay. But once you've wronged me, it just stays branded in my cerebral cortex, and I just can't.
I mean, I think I agree. I don't think that I could really say that my ego wouldn't be hurt if you did me wrong. But I definitely, in my mind, imagine that I wouldn't go off the deep end because certain people just have, I feel like I can create what I want. I always say you attract who you are. So I always try to do pretty good at making sure that I stay clean internally. So that way I can always attract good people. So if one day my lady was, does me wrong or says, I'm out or whatever, I don't think that I know I'd be hurt. I know I'd be definitely hurt. And that competition in me would definitely be like, I failed the mission. But I think that I would be all right in saying, I don't think that I'd be, off in the corner sucking my thumb. I think I would do all right in the field. No, I wouldn't. Yeah. I wouldn't because I wouldn't because it was done for a reason. I tend not to go against the grain. The universe is perfect, and it does exactly what it's supposed to do when it happens. And obviously, if that was a decision that was made at that time, that's what's needed. That's what was needed to happen. And who am I to try to force feed anything that I want based off of any of my lower self attributes, meaning hurt, pain.
Whenever we try to do that, whenever you try to force a relationship.
Well, not even if you
it always tends up worse.
But if there is a problem or she brings up a problem and you know that it's fixable, or you recognize that.
Yeah, then I'm in the game. I'm in the game. Like if I know it's fixable, I'm a fixer all day. Like I said, I'm highly competitive. So if she comes to me with a problem, the first thing I'm doing is I'm trying to find a solution.
I mean,
That's the first thing I do.
my thing is just like, don't make a speed bump a stop sign, or don't get rid of, flatten the other 3 tires because of one is flat.
Right. Yeah. But that, part of manhood, when you I try not to define things, but me personally, when I got into a place of manhood where I really felt confident about being a man, and I'm really in a space to where I could say, this is who I'm supposed to be. Yeah, I'm a problem solver. That's my job. My job is to solve problems. So if my woman comes to me and says this is a problem, whatever it may be, physically, emotionally, intellectually, whatever it may be, yeah, it's my job to fix it. She's the creator. I'm the builder. It's my job to build. And
you can hear noise.
Okay, stop now.
Yeah, it was a little reverb. I'm not too sure what it was.
Sometimes people in relationships, they like to throw out breakup, right? Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. They like to throw out breakup as to me, that's the nuclear option, right? Is when you want to break up. And sometimes people will throw that out there as kind of a way to try to get somebody to do right or do whatever they want them to do.
Oh, see, I ain't about them games.
I can't stand that either.
I'm not about them
my
games.
thing is you shouldn't bring it up unless that's really
That's what you mean.
Yeah.
right. So
Unless it's a real option.
like I've had it happen, when I was much younger, where a woman said, I think maybe we need to break up. And I was like, okay. And then she was like, you want to break up with me? I'm like, you said it. Like, you brought that up. I didn't bring it up, and I don't, to me, I think some people, because sometimes you can be mad at the person you're with. It doesn't mean you want to break up with them. You can just be upset with them at that moment. So I think some people try to use the whole, I might want to break up or they'll do this thing where they'll say, well, maybe you should find a better girlfriend or something like that to kind of use it as some sort of way to get you into hilarious. That is hilarious.
Yeah, Henry comes to town, man. It's a wrap. Henry come with that sledgehammer, boy. Henry come in like Henry come with this sledgehammer on his shoulder.
Right?
Ready to slang and bang.
I know he goes really blown up after this episode. But so
right.
I think to me that's that's the nuclear option, right? Threatening to break up or putting breaking up on the table. And I think some use that, loosely.
Yeah.
But you know what, Kente? I think some people do that. What they're really saying is if we continue on this path of behavior pattern, if we continue with these actions and these reactions, that this is the inevitable because I'm not comfortable in the space that we created for one another. So what they're saying in reality is I want to be here. I'm not saying I don't want to be here. What I'm saying is I don't want to be here in this space, and I need you to help me create a different type of space. And if you're not willing to work with me, then this is inevitably what's going to happen because I can't stay
conversation.
Here. Yeah, I can't stay in this space. And that's where it's important that you have somebody that you've chosen that is willing to sit back and say, okay, well, let's create a different space because it's not comfortable for me either. And again, that's that self-reflection, that self-work. Are you willing to look at yourself and say, how did I contribute to this situation, on both parties? And and what ends up happening is the reason why the conversation gets like that, because most people is always pointing the finger out. You did this. You're the one. It's your behavior. It's your actions that got us here. In reality, nobody's willing to really sit back and say, well, how did I contribute to this as well? Am I a reactor instead of creating new actions instead of creating new actions? And that's really where people can't really, that's where the conversations are, well, we just going to break up because they really can't sit down and say, you know what? How do we both contribute to this, and then how do we change our behavior so that way?
They say that when you point your finger at someone, you have 3 fingers pointing back at you, which that's why I point my finger with my fingers out like that. So,
you're like you.
You're trying to block the other 3 fingers.
All y'all. All 3 of y'all.